Alright, so I'm going to be starting with the Ultra Fine Brow Pencil by CoverGirl in the color Soft Brown. Recently, I have been using pencil versus pomade. I just feel like it's a lot easier to get more defined brows and a lot neater and more straight lines, which I like. It saves me a lot of time too because I usually do my makeup with my son running around me. So it makes it a lot easier that I don't have to put so much time into my brows. And I'm going to be carving my brows out with the CoverGirl True Blend Undercover Concealer in the color Sand Beige. When you're doing something that's going to be more everyday look, more natural look, you want to go with some like a concealer that is going to be closer to your skin color. You don't want to go in with the super duper white color like I usually do, my NARS little pot, because it's going to throw the whole look off. You're going to obviously be able to tell that there's a gang of concealer under your eye, and that ain't cute when you're trying to be natural. I'm just going to blend that out with my beauty sponge. Now I'm going to be going in with the same concealer, and I'm going to be carving out my brow with a concealer brush from e.l.f. I like that way better because it's really small and dense, and it's easier for me to use this than a squared off brush like most people do. And here comes my baby getting all up in the business. He's such a cutie. He loves to always be hugging me and being around me when I'm doing my makeup, so it makes it a little hard. This is why I don't put out a lot of videos, because this is usually what happens during the entire thing. So if you wonder why I don't put out a lot of videos, this is exactly why. Then I like to just blend it out with my beauty sponge, just to make sure there's not going to be any harsh lines between my concealer and my foundation. And even though this is going to be a very everyday wear supposed type of look, I am going to be using a foundation by Huda Beauty in the color Butter Pecan. Skeleton put me on. Thanks, Skeleton, because this stuff is good for fine lines, which I have extremely. Before I put that on, I'm going to be putting on the oh my god, the Tarte Base Tape. I swear, every time I'm trying to do a voiceover, I cannot do it. I cannot speak for whatever reason. Oh my goodness. But I'm going to be putting that on. Once it's a little bit dry and tacky, I'm going to be using my Huda Beauty foundation. And I like to start in the middle of my face and then spread out, because I need most of my coverage right in the middle. And I just let whatever's left on the sponge be my coverage for the outer part of my face. I don't like starting on the outside, because then you get all the cake on the outside and you get no coverage on the inside. Make sure you bring it down to your neck at least halfway, just to make sure, in case you aren't that color, that it's not that noticeable. I have fine lines right there. You see that? 2 seconds and it's already starting to do that. It happens with every foundation I've ever used, every concealer I've ever used. But the Huda foundation is the best one that I've used so far. Now I'm going to be concealing. You want to use a little bit of concealer. I see so many people, and I do it too. When I'm going full coverage, I usually put a ton of concealer. But you're going to want to put just a little tiny bit when you're trying to go natural, or a little less full coverage, because then you look so cakey and it's just not cute at all. So I'm going to apply just a couple dots and then work it out, and finally bringing it down into the middle. I'm going to be taking a foundation brush and adding a very light veil of powder, the Studio Fix by MAC, right over everything. My baby again being crazy. This is what I'm talking about. Mamas in makeup got it hard. So I just take a tiny bit of that, not too much, on my brush, and I put a very light veil over my entire face just to kind of set it. I don't want to be extremely caked up with a lot of powder, so I just put a little bit and kind of spread it as far as I can without having to dip in too many times, because then you start to get extreme texture and all that, and when you want to have a naturaler look on your face, you want to look smooth and not super textury. So that's what I do to kind of combat that. Kind of stop using full bake as my go-to every day. Then I'm going to be using the Fenty Beauty bronzer in the color Caramel Cutie, and I am just gonna apply that very smallly at the edge of my face and my hairline, and then I'm just gonna bring it down. You want to follow that line in your face that I just showed, because if you're putting it up way too high, it's not gonna accentuate your natural shape of your face. So you want to kind of put your face to the side so you can follow that line. And then I'm going to be doing my temples and my 5 head. Okay, let's be honest, 5 head. And we're going to just be giving that a little brush. You don't want to do too much. As always, this is a natural look. And then under my chin, I'm going to concentrate it closer to the front so it can look like a natural shadow instead of something I created. And I'm going to be using the Morphe M506 brush just to give myself a little contour on my nose. So most of my nose, I mean not my nose, my face is very crooked. So when I'm doing contour, I try to kind of correct that. I do create shadows on my face, and that is purposefully because one side of my face is kind of slanted, as you can see, to what would be to your right. So I go a little bit higher up on that side and then a little lower on the other side, just to kind of try to balance it out a little bit. Doesn't always work, but that's what works best for my crooked face. I also bring it up right into the corner of my eyebrow, and I kind of fan it out right above the crease of my eye, just to give it a naturaler look. Naturaler, is that even a word? I don't even know. More natural? Okay, yeah, a more natural look. Then I take the exact same contour stuff, bronzer, and I put it on my eyelid, because I feel like if you have a very matted out lighter color on your eyelid, it does not look natural. You need to put something on there so it gives you depth to your face, because having super white eyelids is not natural at all. It looks really freaky. I also like to put a little bit right under my bottom lip, just to make it look a little bit heavier. And I put a little bit right in the middle part of my lip, connecting to my nose. I don't know what that's called, but I put it there. Now here I definitely put too much, and I have to go in with my beauty sponge and kind of tone that down a little bit, because it looked a little crazy there. Then I'm going to be taking my Morphe Bake Powder and a little brush. Most of these brushes I have are like 100 years old, and I have no idea what they're called. So yeah, I got them on eBay like in 2012. I'm going to take a little bit of that and put it right under my eye, just to kind of sit that a little bit more and give it a little bit more brightness in that area. Then I'm going to take that and I'm going to fully carve out my cheek. And you want to remember that line. Just always follow that line, because if you're going to create a different shape on your face, you have to really know how to do it, or it just ends up looking blotchy. So I always just follow that line that's naturally on my face. Now on this side, I didn't do a very good job of following that line. And I knew it right away. Knew it right away. So what I do is I just bring it a little further in on the other side, and then I'm going to kind of brush it off and kind of blend it in a little bit so you can't tell I went that far. Then I'm going to carve out my nose. Like I said, I do my contour kind of differently on my nose. So I tend to go a little higher on one side and a little lower on the other. And I kind of try to keep my nose at the end a little bit more squared, not so much a U shape. I don't feel like the U shape really works for my face. Makes me look like I have a super long Squidward nose, and that's not cute. So yeah, I try to keep it square. Put a little tiny bit of that right on my forehead, give it a little light there, because you want where you're putting the lighter powder to be where the light is going to hit your face. So that is the purpose of that. Take a little bit of my MAC powder and go all around my lips and the sides where I get a lot of creasing. And then I'm going to brush off the contour under my cheek with that same foundation brush and my MAC powder. I feel like if you just brush it off however it is, it's going to leave a white line, and you have to kind of take that down a notch. And by adding another color on top of that, instead of just brushing it off, you're kind of making it seamless into the natural color of your skin, because my MAC powder is close to my skin color. Then I'm gonna just go right over that contour and kind of marry it all together. You want it to look a little seamless. I have a little bit of a muddy patch there, so I just go over that a bunch of times and just kind of try to mix it all in. Oh, get it, get it. Oh yeah. This is like me all the time. That's my go-to face. So then I'm going to be using a brush that is angled to put on my blush. And when you have an angled brush like that, you want to just take it one way. Don't go back and forth. You want to lift it off your face, because if you're going back and forth, you're going to skip in certain spots, and it is going to create like a little line of texture, and you don't want that. So make sure when you're extending your brush out, you're picking it up and going back to the starting place again. For highlight, I'm going to be using the Cover FX Custom Enhancer Drops in the color Celestial and Aurora. And I'm going to be putting those on with my wet beauty sponge. Well, at this point, it's really, really damp. Or I mean, really kind of dry, but it's still a little damp. And you want to put it on with that because it helps kind of mix into the rest of your face. You don't want it to just be sitting there looking kind of out of place. So I would say use your wet beauty sponge. Excuse my baby's crazy hair. He had braids and we took them out, and now his hair is crazy. Then I am going to take a little bit on the bridge of my nose because you want the light to hit your nose right on the top and right on your lips. Well, the top of your lips, like I said, I don't know what that is called, but it is the top of your lips. That's where you put it at. I put whatever remaining on the sponge on my chin and on my forehead. Then I'm going to go in with my Maybelline mascara. And you technically could stop there, but I cannot go a day without eyelashes. So I'm just prepping my eyes for eyelashes. And I am putting mascara on my eyebrows just to keep them in place. I'm broke, so I don't have money to buy a brow gel. So I just use my mascara. Some people, you need to really know your face because if you have an oilier face, it is going to run the mascara and your eyebrows are going to look like crap. So I would say know your face before you try that trick. But that's what I do because I'm too broke to buy anything else. My baby stole the show, of course. And then he wanted to pretend like we were in cars. And this is just the life of a makeup mom. This is what we go through. I don't have any type of like vanity setup or anything for my makeup. So I usually do my makeup on the floor sitting next to my son or, while he's walking around playing. So this is what I do a lot of times during my makeup is just play with him and keep him entertained. I am taking my damp sponge and I'm kind of going right over where I have the worst fine lines and kind of dampening up the powder that I put on just to before I put the setting spray on because that is going to keep it in place. Yes, I put on a ton here, but that's just, I don't know, I really like putting on a lot. And I use a fan after, so it dries down really fast. It's not like I have it on for a long time and I'm just waiting for it to set because you can really make your makeup run that way. So I just put the fan on my face and it helps dry it really quickly. Pretending I'm on Baywatch right there. And as you can see, it looks like pretty normal skin so far. Just adding my lashes here. Since I don't have anything on my eyes, I like to get it as close as I can to my natural eyelashes. You want to be careful not to get onto your actual eyelashes because at the end of the day, you're going to rip them babies out. But I use the House of Lashes glue and it sticks on really damn good. And when I take it off, it usually doesn't pull out anything, even if I do accidentally get it on my eyelashes. And I just kind of move them around with my fingers and with eyebrow tweezers just to make sure I get it in the right spot. Now I'm going to be taking my bronzer once again from Fenty Beauty. And I am going to be putting that right on my eyelashes where the glue is at. Because you don't want to put your eyes down and then everybody notices clumps of glue. Because even though it is transparent, you can still see it. So put that on there to try like hide it a little bit. It'll match in with your eyelid and it won't stand out as much. Then put a little mascara on the fake eyelashes, starting at your real eyelashes to kind of blend them together. Even when your eyelashes already have a mascara, it just gives it like a little more of a blend. Now I'm going to be using my Wet n Wild gel lip liner in the color Bear to Comment. I love this color and it was on sale for $1.69 at Walgreens, so I got like every single one. And this is my favorite color because it's very nude and it works with my skin color very well. My lips are not super pink, but they're not dull either. So I like using this one because it mimics that very well. And I'm also using a Unknown that I also got from Walgreens. I've had it for like ever and I just keep using it. But the words have came off, so I don't know what it is. But you can use any like a darker brown color. And I'm just going to be putting that like right in the middle. On the top and on the bottom. Then I'm going to be putting some gloss over it. I guess this isn't gloss actually. It's the Too Faced Lip Injection Extreme Instant and Long Term Lip Plumper. I like this stuff. I don't know if it works, but I like it. It makes my lips feel all tingly and funny. I'm going to use my finger just to kind of mix them in. And since it's light and nude, it gives a nice little natural look. Then I go over it with my gloss from Jeffree Star in Diamond Juice. I love this one because it's also nude and it doesn't give off too much color, so perfect for me. And that is pretty much it. My hair is crazy because I haven't washed it in like a week, but yeah, this is pretty much the end. I hope you guys liked it. For those of you who are servers, you know that you have to have your hair back. So usually I just take it and I kind of twist it so my baby hairs aren't coming out on both sides of my part. And then I just put it in a ponytail. Now, ponytails are perfect for this because it's gonna put all the attention of your makeup straight onto the middle of your face that you just worked on so hard. And that is it. Slay, slay, slay. Oh, ooh, ooh. Do, 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 do. And this is in the sunlight coming in from the window. I just wanted to show you guys. I get a lot of compliments on my skin, and people usually don't think I'm wearing that much makeup. When they watch this, they're going to be surprised because it's actually kind of a lot. But this gets me a lot of compliments. On my eyelashes, everyone always thinks they're real. And on my skin, that everyone thinks is natural. Thank you for watching my video, everyone. Please subscribe and like this video. Thank you. Bye.